The Chakras Root to Crown Oracle Deck is a tool designed to help people connect to their soul destiny. As humans, we live a birth to death cycle, yet as a soul, our existence is infinite. In each human life, our goal is to learn and connect to our authentic self. We seek guidance when we are repeating patterns and feel blocked from our purpose. This Oracle deck breaks down a human's chakra system and uses that information as a roadmap. Each chakra contains physical, emotional, and spiritual information to navigate a clear path towards authenticity and awakening. By gathering perspective with a reading, you will gain soul-level wisdom. These insights bring depth to your spiritual journey and dissolve the blocks, unveiling your highest potential. Take the next step by selecting your layout and explore a reading today.
Oh geez, the lighting is very bright today and everything is off kilter. Hello everybody. So this is Chakras Root to Crown. I'm Jenna. See, these lights are very bright. Sorry, this is a very impromptu session. We have an immediate question that needs to be answered with some guidance requested. So this whole session is going to be focused around the energy of the family matrix, the nuclear family, so the immediate family and the path of that family. And so we're going to read, of course, with the Chakra Oracle deck here. The readings are soul level based, so that means that we're not reading specific, we're not pulling in specific future forecasting. The Oracle deck really targets the soul's journey through the totality of that soul's existence. So it's all of the lessons and all of the wisdom that you're pulling into this one life. And when you pull in all that wisdom and all those lessons from your master plan into this one life, we tend to experience patterns, we tend to experience energy in this life that makes us feel certain ways, right? So we have a mental body, we have an emotional body that we're attached to, and we have this physical reality. And so through all those layers, we pick up on things that reside within our soul or our Akashic timeline. And when we do an Oracle deck reading, specifically with the Chakra Oracle deck, it really brings clarity into view over not only what's happening right now in your physical reality, but where you're attached emotionally, where you're attached mentally, and then spiritually, what kind of the messaging is that's coming through and downloading for you right now. You taking notes? Off camera, I've got the reason why we're in sweats and bad lighting. So we had to do this for the family matrix to see what all is happening in this family matrix. I gotta make this a little, there. Okay, so how we read this is through the 7 cards, and the 7 cards are going to follow along the different chakra vortice centers, and each of those centers holds a specific wisdom for us. And so this first one here is going to be the root chakra. And the root chakra is about the family. The root chakra is the foundation from which we're growing from. And so what we're manifesting, so this card is upside down. Upside down is a yang word flow. Yang word flow of energy is heaven to earth. And so this means this is kind of divine potential that's coming into our field right now. And so what we're manifesting is progress. And so this is all about the family, aligning to the willpower, the energy, the drive, the fire, the agony, everything that comes here in this middle part of the body. And so this is too where we start to feel when we're making really big moves, really big decisions. This is where we start to get those gut twists. It can be triggering these gut impulses, the second brain, right? These nervous kind of energies. But this is the fire in the belly that really stimulates all of the energy, all of this. And this is lower human stuff. So everything solar plexus chakra and below, then we go heart chakra and throat chakra and above. So everything below heart chakra is the human realm, right? So right now what we're building into our foundation is this willpower, this energy to create a solid foundation. And this is bringing into us progress. So good start, right? Approval? Any more? Do we need any more explanation on that one? All right. So relationship, sacral chakra. So our first, so chakras, in chakra readings, we can always have hyper spins of chakras, we can have hypo spins of chakras, and we can have shadow. And of course, there's the happy balance chakra, which creates the clear channel. So when a chakra is hypo or hyper, it means that we're spinning out of balance to our authentic core. And so what's coming in right here in our one-on-one relationships is a hypo, it's a less than, it's a pulling back of in the crown chakra, and it's causing spiritual disbelief. Got it? So what this means is we've detached from the highest purpose, the soul level wisdom that's flooding into the channel. And when we do this, we basically close off the channel of, and I'm going to use a word here that's a bit overused, but enlightenment, right? So crown chakra is the open portal to basically be aligned to our highest destiny, our highest purpose in life. And so whenever we start to distrust in what's coming through, and distrust is a pulling back of, it's the hypo spin. And distrust can also be in hyper, but we typically take on an archetypal role that gets us through a situation, where when we go hyper, we're pulling back from that which is the full totality, the full complete clarity of what we can be in this moment, in this existence, right? In this specific time space that we're asking this question in right now. And so basically this would be in our one-on-one relationships, there's a bit of spiritual disbelief. And if we're talking about family matrix and what's trying to help us ground here, specifically because the question was asked for the family, this is and it's, warning is a very harsh word, but it's a reminder that the more open everybody is for all of this to come through clearly and to create that open channel for, because remember, talking too fast, in a family matrix, everybody has cords connected together. So even though we're each living our individual existences, as a family unit, everybody has contracts together, and what one person does affects the rest of that nuclear family. And so when this happens, if anybody has fear in moving forward, if anybody is right, so like when we want to sell a house, if you want to sell your house and one of those people in that family matrix doesn't want to sell the house, we're going to get stagnant energy, and we're going to produce some lessons, some problems, so the entire family matrix can be cleared. And then when everybody's open and cohesively working as a family, then things tend to move forward in a harmonious way, right? And so even though we're each unique individuals choosing our own path here, there really needs to be a cohesiveness for the best and highest, greatest good for everything to manifest here into and when I keep saying manifest and what we're creating, we go back to the root chakra card, which was bringing in this progress energy, right? This really high intensity, intense energy that connects into our foundation to basically create this new growth cycle and progress us into the future. So now we're going to the individual, the self. When we talk about the self, so this would be your card, and we're manifesting prudence. And I love this card because it's so layered. There's so many different layers of matrix kind of coming through this card. So this is all about using the voice in connection to the intuition, to that which feels what you're thinking. And so prudence to me is this, how would you say prudence? Prudence to me is this, like, it's honor, it's respect, but it's also caution in moving forward. It's having a great respect, right? A healthy respect for what's happening, and to be prudent in anything really helps to keep you aligned. I think in a steady way. And so here it's all about intuitively, when you're having thought forms, what we're being asked to do is speak these things, but in a very, so you don't want to let it go through to where you're starting to feel anxious. You're starting to feel into the energy of anxiousness or fear or whatever triggers your thought forms are. That you don't want to swallow your thought forms, right? So whatever you're being clued into right now, you don't want to swallow those and start to feel them, because as soon as we start feeling things, we're going to start manifesting that reality to move through it, to persevere through it. And so it's going to take prudence for you, because it's not something you typically do, to actually speak that which you're being clued into in your mental field, and speak that to the family, this core soul circle that's surrounding you in building this progressive kind of new platform that you're all growing from. So really, it's going to take a lot of this deep, trusting wisdom that what you're feeling needs to be honored. And so speak it before, so that everybody can help walk you through it, help ease you through it, help kind of maybe bring more clarity and even validate maybe some of the things that you're thinking. Because if you start feeling it by yourself, again, remember, we're attached to all these cords in this family matrix. And so if you start feeling into it, you're going to start sending some of that intentionally or unintentionally to those cords that are connecting to you. So far we've done the lower self. The first 3 cards, root chakra, sacral chakra, and solar plexus chakra, all kind of talk to the lower human, what's going on in this physical world. And so now this card starts to bridge the gap between lower human and high self, or that which is more spiritual. And so this is Archangel Jopiel, who started this process, by the way, started the cards. And he was, Archangel Jopiel is usually depicted as a woman, but for me it was very masculine energy, I think, because Jopiel was the one that made me sit for a year and paint all these cards and bring through all the wisdom and energy. And I was like just going to be totally tactless. I was like a crackhead trying to bring this energy through. And so Jopiel's wisdom is for crown chakra, which is beautiful, because our one potential block here came through in crown chakra. And so when we're worried, remember Jopiel is the name here, and send a prayer every day. Wake up, send a prayer to Jopiel to help manifest what's needed, to help manifest clarity, to help manifest our most divine potential here. Jopiel is coming in the bridge, in this gateway that's going to connect all of these things. The person you're connected to is saying, this is divinely inspired, this is my purpose. And so Jopiel is going to be the one that really helps to manifest the purpose into physicality and foundation, progress. This is what we're seeking. So heart chakra here with Jopiel coming in, his message to us is about reconciliation. And I love this message because so many times as humans, we extend so much of our soul outside of our body. We invest. Think of your soul as a divine bank account. And what happens as soon as we manifest into human form is we start investing our soul into external bank accounts, right? Just like the human world. And what's happening is because we want mom's attention as a young child, and we want to be loved by mom, but she doesn't give us exactly what we need. So we start investing a bit of our soul into that bank account of mom, saying, if I do this, will you just love me more? If I do this, will you just love me more? And so we give her some of our soul, and she holds it in her bank account. And then at work, I want to be appreciated, I want to be validated, I want to be given that confirmation that I'm doing good. So I'm going to invest a bit of my soul into your bank account to acknowledge me, to validate me, to tell me I'm exactly who I'm supposed to be in this world. And so as we mature as these humans, what happens is we start taking parts of our soul, extending it outside of ourselves, which is not healthy, and we start depositing it outside of ourselves to try and get the validation for just us living here in this one existence. And what happens on the spiritual or the seeking process is that we start to go out and look at all those things that we've invested our soul into, and we start to acknowledge why we did that in the first place. And then we take ownership back of our soul and say, I never needed mom's love. That was her issue. She chose to be detached, distant, and that taught me how to be more independent, and I can see where that was her stuff and not my stuff. And so as soon as we start to have these self-reflective moments in our expansion process, we get that deposit back into our own bank account. And this is what starts to completely reunite us as a one authentic individual who is completely validated by their own self worth, right? So I no longer need anybody to tell me I'm exactly who I am. So this is what Jopiel teaches us, is this reconciliation process, that everything we do through life is really to bring these soul pieces back into our own authentic self, and to really be okay being who we are exactly at this moment in time, and expressing that and living that. And so Jopiel's the one that's transitioning us from this foundation, this matrix of progress, which is what we're cultivating right now. We're cultivating this sustainable energy in our foundation, in our family, to be able to achieve what we need to achieve. And Jopiel's the one that's kind of coming in and saying, this is you just bringing more of your soul back into this channel. And so, and also could say that that's what's going to be required for parts of the matrix to be able to transition and unite low self and high self. So this is also you reclaiming. Did you already get that? I usually don't have somebody off camera. Maybe you'll say hi later. Little peace fingers. Okay. So next, the next card here is the throat chakra, which is very, well, I'm already getting pulled back to the authentic self, because authentic self, we had a voice connected to our intuition, and it's telling us to speak what's coming in through our thought forms so we can speak it, engage with the people around us, to be able to not get into this manifestation of thought forms that are maybe not serving our highest good, and to air all those things before they start to manifest in lessons that we don't want to repeat, or lessons that might be slower vibrational energy that take us a bit off of our path. And so here in the throat chakra, we get the card, again, it's about connecting our intuitive sense to our authentic self. So it's so interesting because this is an exact flip of this self card. So for me, what I'm reading here is the growth of the self, because Archangel Jopiel comes in and says this is the whole reconciliation process. You need to bring more of your soul pieces into yourself. And so what the self is saying is we got to use our voice and really speak our mind, right? Because that's going to heal us. And now in the throat, it's saying also what's coming through this intuitive sense is connected to who we are authentically here. So it's so interesting that the throat and the solar plexus chakra are just the exact reflection of each other here. And Jopiel comes in to say this is what's being reconciled, or this is what we're doing to heal high self and low self. And so this card of throat chakra is fortitude. It's all about these scales, the balance scales. It's about balancing what we think is ego and material with that which we know is light and divine. And so again, we're going to be clued in to those things that you're healing within yourself authentically right now are very much so in contrast to the fact that you think money, wealth, this is what it is in life. Right now it's saying the scales are like this. It's literally money, brain, like, and the death, which is the death rebirth cycle, and then the higher is light and divinity and expansiveness. And so there's this imbalance in what we value and what we see right now as those things which completely can support us and create this stable foundation. And so as you get triggered in your mind that there's fear of stability. There's fear of, I'm scared again about finance, or I'm scared again about the material, or I'm scared again about our foundation, or what's going to create that solid foundation. It's going to take all of your fortitude to start to intuitively know. So here, number one, speaking those fears or whatever those anxieties are before they manifest into actual emotion. And then basically it's going to take all of your energy to start to really realign your own internal structure to that of balance between those two things, the material world and the divine world. And so it's basically saying that the perception right now, your perception is not in complete alignment. So, and I know where your thought's going with that. Because if all we seek is material to support us in our foundation, we're staying in lower vibration of singularity, of the human. We're basically staying here, which is a very limited perspective. It's halfway up the mountain. And we want our perspective to be here, because when our perspective is here and we don't just see income as the way to keep us foundationally supported, when we can be on top of the mountain, we understand that by aligning to our purpose, we're going to be supported no matter what. And so that's where we're balancing the scales here. It's just in the mental constructs that you were raised with as a human that a stable check and foundation and work is going to supply this, and then we can do this on the side. You know, it's these human constructs that are needing to be realigned to a higher energy. And when we can realign to this higher energy, there's going to be so many opportunities that come but until you can get up at the top of the mountain, you're not going to be able to see those clearly or align to those things clearly. You're going to stay more in this lower vibrational realm. So now we go to third eye chakra, which is perspective. So third eye chakra brings in heart energy, which is more of this collective, what we're surrounded by in more of not just our family, but more the world that's supporting us, right? The community that's surrounding us. And this is connecting to this present moment, and the word here is connection. And so the perspective here is that the community is going to come to support everything that's being created in this present moment. And so the higher perspective here is, and if you look, there's like 100 hands, okay, like 10. There's like 10 hands surrounding this lock, and basically it's saying that the community will come. So in this moment of perspective, here in this present moment, that the community is going to connect to this. And then the crown chakra, our shadow, so attachment. So the greatest message coming through is, and anytime we talk crown chakra, so I always, you know the words that I'm going to say right here. Do you know what I'm going to say? Detached acceptance, right? So crown chakra's affirming statement is to have detached acceptance. So going through our stuff, every time I would look at you and see patterns or things that scared me or put me into fear state or seemed like it was repeating something that happened in the past, I would look at you and say, I have detached acceptance over who you are in this phase, because I know that this is a path that you're walking to basically embody your highest good. And so crown chakra, shadow side of a chakra is basically patterns and things that are coming up for us to understand that this is a potential, and this is something that that's happened before, it's circled us before, and here we go, here's another pattern. So it can be, because crown chakra and attachment is very much so. When we're attached in crown chakra, it's again saying that it's this materialistic attachment to the the energies of this kind of lower self. And so when we can open up ourselves to the greatest potential that divine has to offer, we receive the access to the mystery schools and the gifts and the blessings and all of this that comes through for people who walk the path of like servitude was coming through, but that's such, again, like a extreme word. But when we surrender the attachments of the physical, the human world, when we surrender this, we are gifted so much more abundance and wealth and divine guidance than we could have ever known. And so this is crown chakra coming up, saying basically, don't be persuaded. Crown chakra, this is like the purpose card, right? So what's the meaning of all of this? And so let's let go of attachment. Let's let go of attachment, not only for our expectations over what this should look like, because that's a very simplistic view of this, but also let go of attachment to any materialistic lower frequency stuff, and then having detached acceptance over what somebody else's path in this matrix should look like. Because if we kind of pigeonhole that path, that is the total outcome that we could have. So when we start visualizing what the end of this path could look like for us as a unit, then we're really just putting such a narrow focus on the complete potential that could happen. And so when we release from any expectation and attachment, we are gifted kind of the full totality of what could potentially manifest for us. So any other questions? You've got a loaded deck, so no. Okay. Well, thank you so much. So I'm Jenna C. from Chakras Root to Crown. Please download the Chakra app. It's free, completely free. It's called Chakra Deck, and there's lots of, you can run this this Oracle deck in a one-card reading, and as long as you're present and grounded and ask a question, you'll get a really great reading there. And then you can also find meditations, workshops, classes, lots of good stuff on that and through that app. So Android or Apple, the Chakra Deck app, and then you can go to chakrasroot2crown.com to find all that same stuff. So thanks for watching tonight. Light and love.